Susan Keels. She's the hotel general manager for the Royal Park Hotel. Great to have you with us here on the MegaCast.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Oh, what a year for your industry.
Um,
How are you trying to, as the word of 2020 has been pivot, how is that happening for the hotel there?
we literally are pivoting at the speed of light. I call it the Corona coaster. It changes constantly based on state mandates and just the virus and what's happening. So we here at the hotel we call it throwing spaghetti on the wall sometimes. And we have pivoted and changed our business model in order to really survive in such a turmoil, difficult time in hospitality.
But on top of that, it's like some of these things are years in the making, years planning, and then you're trying to navigate running a business day by day. What's that been like?
It's been challenging. We all try to motivate each other, but we're digging deep, to be quite honest. But there's some silver linings too. For instance, weddings would be a great example. We're used to hosting 250, 500 person weddings. And, it's been really challenging talking to our brides. They just want to get married. So one of our pivots we put together is this tiny wedding package. We partnered with some of our great partners and, you know, wedding love is not canceled. And they're still having this opportunity to create some magic here at the hotel and get some beautiful pictures. And it's only 10 people, but it's something. And those are the things that have been the light at this tunnel here.
That's a great line. Love is not canceled. So even though we're in the middle of a pandemic, people are still getting married. In fact, I saw, I think on Facebook, there was a lady who was trying to sell her brand new, amazing wedding gown that was like, $2,000, but she still got married. But since she wasn't having the big affair, then she opted for a smaller wedding dress as well. Do you anticipate that this is going to be a new way of the future, or are people going to be so eager on the back end of this pandemic, they're going to have even bigger celebrations?
So, I think that the pent up demand is going to be huge. And I'm going to relate this to back in 1918 when the Spanish flu happened. It was a pandemic similar to the magnitude in a different way of what we're going through now. And what came out of that after that pandemic in 1918? The Roaring Twenties, this decade of decadence and gathering and dancing and vibrance. And I still feel we're a little, we're not quite there yet, but I do believe that that's our future: opulence in hospitality. That's what I'm holding on to.
And I think at least in the beginning, we're all going to appreciate it so much more.
We are, yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
But the hotel is not just about weddings. There are so many industries and so many businesses that are usually, when you look at the business travel world, and it used to be, the big conferences and your business people, even if it's one or two, those individuals make up really kind of the backbone of the whole hotel industry. And do you think that that's going to kind of go away coming out of this pandemic, because we're all using Zoom now?
That's a great question. I feel like some of it will go away. I think that business travel has been forever changed. And although people are still going to want to connect, I mean, I've talked to so many executives and they just want to meet with their clients. They just want to touch, have a face to face with them. But right now, we're still in critical travel only and coming into maybe essential travel within probably the next couple months. I think business travel in general will take more time and won't come back till maybe the end of the year or even in 2022 is what I'm hearing. I do feel like hybrid meetings are definitely something that's in our future. We've actually hosted a few at the hotel, and it's a small group of key people connecting throughout the country with others and hybriding. So instead of a maybe 100-person wedding, it's a smaller group of 25, and then the other 25, are in pockets of 3 all over the country. And we'll see more of that technology hybriding into live meeting space.
Yeah, I think that is a good analogy. Anyone who's ever traveled for business will tell you it's not so much about being there in the office or the conference. It's really about those interactions that happen outside of the business hours. Those are the ones that are lasting, that tend to be the most productive as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes forward. With that, what about staffing during this time?
So when we actually closed the hotel in March when all of this started, we were industry leaders, the first hotel in Michigan to close. Just based on the current situation, we laid off over 125 employees. It was staggering. And our goal, the minute we closed the door, the goal was to get those doors open, and we fought to get them back. And we're still fighting. So now we're fast forward, we have approximately 65 to maybe 70 back. We had to do actually 3 layoffs in this year, last year, which was unheard of in the restaurant industry. We laid people off, we brought them back. There was another mandate. We had to lay them off again. So they're warriors in that restaurant. But I'm confident that slowly we're going to bring more staff back. We are hybriding staff too. So we call them universal soldiers, and we're bringing back people who can do multiple tasks in different departments. And that's been very successful for us.
But I'm thinking about the individual and how hard that can be for them. But on the backside of this, the ones that are surviving are making themselves more valuable.
That's true. They are making themselves more valuable. Everybody's definitely a lot more resourceful, and people are willing to do whatever it takes. I'm very sad for our industry. So many amazing people are still laid off, and my hope is that we can get every one of them back, and that in the next few years, things will really surge in hospitality, and our industry can keep moving forward.
And with that, Susan Keels with us. She's the hotel general manager for the Royal Park Hotel. Your hotel is known for your events. And what is going to be your marketing campaign in 2021 to try to
So,
get people to come back into your space?
we're all about creating experiences. We're experience creators. That's who we are. So part of our marketing is, to make sure that we're creating these amazing new experiences, but also a safe, comforting experience as well. We want, when people come to the other side and travel and host events, we want them to feel very safe and taken care of. So we're definitely going to incorporate that, as we have in all of our marketing campaigns.
So are you a little bit on the edge though going into 2021, or has the vaccine brought you hope and that you think there is a light at the end of the tunnel here?
I'm finally seeing light. It's been a long haul, and we keep focusing on that light, but it is getting stronger and stronger. I think once the vaccine continues, and more people are getting shots in the arm, confidence will build, and hopefully some herd immunity will happen, and things will get back to a normal. It's going to be a new normal, but things will continue to get back. But again, it's going to take time. It is definitely not a race, it's a marathon. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, but if so many people aren't making it at the end of that marathon, I mean, we're all kind of running out of gas here as well. But with that too, your industry in general, do you think that the appeal is different now to individuals? Are you trying to push more like, hey, stay local and enjoy things in your own backyard versus going to other states? So could there be a population of in-state travel coming out of this?
Yes, 100%. What we have seen is in-state travel. Travel within a 300-mile radius really is what we've seen. A lot of leisure business is already moving in a good direction, a lot of suite business. So people are actually booking suites because they want the experience. So I definitely see that travel will be all about local. Also in less high density populations. So cities maybe like New York and Chicago, they will take longer, I think, to surge and come back. We're in Rochester. We're in a little small, Michigan town, and with a lot of green space, and we're positioned fairly well for the comeback because people will feel a little more safer here.
And what's the challenge been? Because I know some people that own properties that rent them out for Airbnb, and they've actually done pretty well during this entire time. Is that competition for the hotels? It was prior, but do you think people feel more comfortable coming to a hotel because they know that you're taking the procedures to make it clean and safe?
Yes, I think that although B&B will always have their space in the market, people are going to not only look for a clean, safe environment and hotels that are following all the protocols, but also an experience. They're going to want it. There's pent up demand. People are going to want to go to a restaurant and get served and be taken care of. And that's what hotels I feel will be able to provide versus an Airbnb. Two totally different experiences, and I think there's a space for both.
How do you communicate Michigan's restrictions to some of your out of town guests? We were in Ohio over the weekend. Their restaurants are still open, with restrictions, but we can't sit down for, in person dining inside right now. So, how do you explain the changing restrictions here in the state of Michigan to people who are coming from out of state?
That has been one of our biggest challenges because the expectation is very different. So we try, and it changes all the time, even in this state. So what we try to do is to set ourselves and the guest up for the experience. And during, using our technology during the pre-stay experience, we explain all of the mandates. We post it on our website. We update them on social media so they know what they're getting into. And then we'll guide them through. So we'll offer alternatives, carry out, obviously. We're partnering with some of our local restaurants to, get that business driving in not just our hotel, but supporting local too.
I just your hotel is not just a hotel, it's a space to be enjoyed and to be experienced. And I hope that it can continue going into 2021.
Yes, we are ready. We're going to continue to pivot and create experiences and just move forward as best we can. Travel is not canceled either.
It's not, in fact, a lot of times right now, it's a good time to book because there are some good deals.
There's some great rates out there. Occupancies are very low, so it's an opportunity, like you said, travel around the state and enjoy pure Michigan at its best, and support the travel industry. We all could use a little help.
How's that working with the occupancy in the hotel? Are you having to limit people booking rooms right now?
Currently, our occupancy on the weekdays is very light. So typically what we do is when a person checks out, we hold that room for 24 hours, and make sure that it's sanitized and it sits for a while. And because it's been a little softer with business levels, we're able to maintain and keep up with that. The weekends is really where we see the pickup, and we're at, sometimes in the 60% occupancy, which is good for this market.
Right. And plus this time of year too, because we are going into kind of the slower months right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're pivoting and creating snowcations and all kinds of winter activities. People want to be outside too, even when it's cold. We've noticed even with dining, obviously with the pause, we're not able to serve inside. But we have BYOB, bring your own blanket. We'll serve you outside, and people bundle up, and they just want a dining experience. There's some dining diehards out there, that's for sure.
Right. But in a way, it's kind of opened up like a new business model that could stick around next year.
Absolutely. What's come of this is all kinds of different ways to pivot, and some will stick at 100%, that's again part of the silver lining in that light.
I'm trying to get an igloo for my backyard.
Oh my gosh, our igloos are so popular. We actually put farm tables in our igloos. So it's kind of this globe, we call them snow globe to farm table experience. And they sell out every week. It's been fantastic.
Right, and that is one of the things because of the experience. I've had the chance to eat in one a couple times, and they are pretty warm because they have their own space heater. But you have to make reservations and make them pretty early.
Yes, we sell out weeks in advance, and we're actually pivoting a little bit upstairs, and we're taking beds out of the rooms, and we're leasing that to offices, which has been an interesting pivot for us, and then also offering some dining experiences up in a guest room.
Yeah, because takeout is getting a little bit old.
It is. It's just, takeout's great for what it is, but it's just not the same as enjoying the wonderful service and dining experience.
So, as Susan Keels with us, she's the hotel general manager for the Royal Park Hotel in Rochester. We have to ask you just between the two of us, because I remember the stress I went through in planning my wedding. And we went from having a larger wedding to canceling it and having it like 18 people in Bald Head Island, North Carolina, which turned out to be fabulous and absolutely wonderful. But there was a lot of drama and a lot of stress. And I'm thinking, you throw in a pandemic and a timeline that's not a solid timeline. And so if I planned my wedding and I thought we were going to be over this, and then like the weekend of or the day of, the state shuts down some of these mandates like that, and your wedding was that weekend, you've got to have some stories.
Oh my gosh, I can write a book. And some of these brides, and I feel so, I empathize with these brides and grooms. Some of them have canceled, or not canceled, but we continue to push back, right? So we'll change the date and move the date back. And we've done that now sometimes 3 times for some of these brides. And there's been a lot of tears. And sometimes I feel like we're therapists just trying to navigate, I say putting the business hat on, but also the empathy hat and working with them and understanding that this is unprecedented times. So it's important, I think, that we work with them to try and find some really great solutions. Like I said, love is not canceled.
And it really takes us back to the basics.
Yes, it does. It really does. And I think that's another thing we've all learned, that it is, sometimes those big extravagant weddings, although we love them, these little small intimate weddings can be just as delightful and right now serve a purpose during the pandemic.
So when you're trying to plan some of these events now for, say, summer 2021, what is different in how you're planning and those dates as well?
Yeah, so the dates, we're keeping our fingers crossed that we can, host larger events, but we still don't know what the capacities look like. We're hoping that today there might be an announcement to maybe get some capacity back in the restaurant. We're still, not able to serve at our ballroom or our restaurant. I think the days of buffets, family style dining, a lot of shared dining is going to be over for a while. I think people will definitely look at more of the individual plates, the grab and goes, and it will look very different. We're just trying to study all of that now and work on new menus once we get out to the other side that are very much different.
Yeah, and just another minute or two here with you here on the MegaCast. That's been one of the hard things is when, the state they are making these announcements, but these decisions impact businesses, but it's not, so quick for you to be able to just turn the light switch back on and get the supply needed. There is an upswing here and there is a process to it. So how much of a notice have members of you or your team been getting from the state, maybe about not only the shutdowns, but also the reopening and, the lifting of some of these capacity limits?
Yeah, I wish that we were in the know a little earlier, to be quite honest. It's been very hard as operators to manage. One day we're closed, and then, okay, 3 days later, we can open at a 25 or a 50% capacity. I mean, think about staffing, training, food ordering, all of that comes into play. So we have been operating, I say sometimes limping along, just based on what happens next. We just don't know. It's the unknown. And I wish we had a little bit more communication from that aspect, but we're doing our best. We're hoping for an opening maybe next Saturday. That's what I'm hearing.
Right, because it's what, the 15th, the latest restrictions are supposed to be lifted. So fingers crossed for so many of the people in the restaurant and the hotel industry that that lift does come through. There was some hope that that was going to happen a little bit earlier, but due to the numbers over the holiday with so many people traveling, that didn't happen.
No, it did not. We were disappointed in that. And we're doing our best to manage as we can and continue to survive in these challenging times. But hopefully, again, with the vaccine and with spring coming and more confidence, we'll see some more activity.
Well, the good thing is we seem to have gotten testing down by now. So just as the vaccine is rolling out, the state seems to have gotten the testing procedure down as well. And also there was so much, uncertainty with the testing, and is it positive? Is it negative? Are you asymptomatic? Are you not? Do I, and even if you were positive, it was still showing you were positive when you were outside your 10 days. So hopefully all of that has been ironed out in time for the vaccine to allow you to reopen, and hopefully for good this time. And with that, if you are allowed to reopen on the 15th, do you want to talk about staffing? How hard is it for you to get employees? And if so, what type of employees are you looking for?
Yeah, so we're always looking for great talent. We do have a nice pool of candidates who have stuck with us through this whole year. They're so loyal and so dedicated, and we hope to bring them back. But we are absolutely hiring as business levels continue to grow. And we're looking for, as I said, universal players, people who can do a little bit of everything and get into this wonderful world of hospitality. So, kitchen is one area that we definitely need some help with and are looking for some great talent. So keep us in mind, please.
Most definitely. Well, thank you so much for taking time to be with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Hope to see you soon at the hotel.